Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator. And the big news today on January 31st, 2023, is that right here, January 1st, 2023, is that California holds out as Western states agree to cut Colorado River water use. So, California says it will release its own plan as six others to dramatically cut water use from the river stressed by drought and overuse. And now, if they don't, Washington is preparing to spread the pain amongst all of the users. This was the 27th of January 2023. And what do they all basically agree on? Right here. This says negotiators from both sides. Okay, they're talking about two states here, but the reason nobody can figure out a solution to this problem is because everybody, they are convinced of one thing. They all agree on one thing, which is the other state ought to come up with more cuts. So hey, back off of us, but them over there, now they're the ones who need to do without. And that's really what has caused this problem. Well, outside of the fact that down here, they talk about how much water comes in and out of the Colorado River. So this says that in 1922, states along the river negotiated the Colorado River Compact, which apportioned the water amongst two group states, the so-called Upper Basin states, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming, would get 7.5 million acre feet of water a year. The Lower Basin, Arizona, California, and Nevada, got a total of 8.5 million acre feet. And a later treaty guaranteed Mexico, where the river reaches the sea, 1.5 million acre feet. And this Guardian article says that that treaty with Mexico was done in 1944. Okay, that's 80 years ago. That they got 1.5 million acre feet. And they say that it's unclear how much Mexico will contribute to the savings. Okay, because they're not even in this discussion. Okay, and that treaty back here in 1922, and probably the one with Mexico, said that the premise that the river's flow would average 17.5 million acre feet each year turned out to be faulty. Over the past century, the river's actual flow has averaged to less than 15 million acre feet per year. And then the drought hit, from 2000 to 2022. The river's annual flow averaged just over 12 million acre feet. In each of the past 3 years, the total flow was less than 10 million. So, they were basing these figures on 17.5 million, and that's been cut by what? About 60% down to 10 million. So, somebody's got to give somewhere in this water debate, because otherwise, it's going to be havoc. And if the state doesn't figure it out, Washington is now prepared to spread the pain because the federal government does nothing but ends up controlling. So, it really would be best if the states came up with an agreement and figured this out amongst themselves like they did back in 1922. But right, they're all convinced of one thing, that the other people, now you're the ones that got to take the cut. We can do a little, but you got to do more than us, because we want our water, okay? And I'll tell you what, all of this water use, okay? I mean, how much has the population increased since 1922 and 1944 in these areas? And if I truly believe a huge portion of this problem could go away if people just stopped abusing water. Okay, there's no way while the water is still flowing out of the tap, that people still respect it. People still stand there at the sink and the water is running directly from the faucet down the drain because they don't have to turn it off. Oh, well, that would require a lot of energy. That would be taking personal responsibility. You know, people do it and they think nothing of it, and it drives me crazy. And then people, I'm like, would you turn that water off? And oh my God, I mean, this is hearing that environmental stuff. I mean, it's just wasteful, and that is what has really caused a lot of this problem. So this Guardian article, it says that the Colorado River and its tributaries pass through 7 states into Mexico, serving 40 million people and a $5 billion a year agricultural industry. And some big cities, including Los Angeles, Phoenix, Denver, and Las Vegas, and 2 Mexican states and Native American tribes and others depend on the river. And they say it's been severely stressed by drought, demand, and overuse, and just absolute abuse. A lot of this overuse is just people not taking responsibility. Well, I can run a full load and I can just put 2 things in it uh, and I'm going to do it. I mean, it's absolutely just incredible how we think nothing of wasting water. Like when people have to start actually walking for their water, which very easily could be the future at economic collapse, then people aren't going to be overusing and abusing water. They're going to be watching every drop. But right now, a big part of this problem is because humans just don't take responsibility. But the states don't either. They missed the mid-August deadline to come up with a plan to propose ways to conserve 2 million to 4 million acre feet of water. But I mean, we're looking at larger than that. If the river's down to 10 million, and it was all these figures are based on the assumption that 17 and a half million is going to go through, that's not even a big enough cut that they're looking to cut. I mean, they really need to get more serious and dig in deeper. But these agencies, they say they're determined to work together. I mean, they have to, but the fact of the matter is, the situation has gotten to this critical point because they haven't. Okay, that's the bottom line. But the states that are participating, and John Entsminger, the general manager of the Southern Nevada Water Authority, he said that he thinks that all states have been negotiating in good faith, and he thinks that they're all committed to working together. Well, when? This problem didn't just arise. This problem has gotten this bad because they haven't been. And it says here that California will submit a model for water reductions in the basin that is practical, based on voluntary actions. Okay, okay. Good luck with that. And aligns with with laws governing the river and the hierarchy of water rights. So, but right here, voluntary actions. Okay, nobody is going to voluntarily give up their water. But that same chairman of the Colorado River Board of California said that California remains focused on practical solutions that can be implemented now to protect volumes of water in storage without driving conflict and litigation. Okay? Because all these treaties, they've all been signed. Maybe these treaties need to be renegotiated. The one with Mexico was in 1944. That's 80 years ago. Maybe we need to renegotiate that. Maybe we need to renegotiate the 1922 treaty, and we need to renegotiate it so that you live below your means. That's the way not to go bankrupt in a family household, and the way to keep people from going water bankrupt would be along those same lines. And this says right here, nothing will happen immediately with the consensus reached among 6 states. Right. So they're yapping about it, but well, action, okay, sometime in the future we're going to get around to it. We're at a dire situation, but we're not looking to act immediately. Okay, that right there shows you the urgency that they're taking with this. So we'll see how this plays out. But they say you can't take blood from a stone, right? And you can't get water from a dry well or a dry river. So we'll see how this plays out. And right now, Colorado and California are really getting hammered with snow. So they may be able to um, give off a little bit of water in the spring that helps these reservoirs out a little bit and helps shrink the pain a little bit. But people have to get serious about the amount of water that's being used, and mostly the amount of water that's being abused and just wasted. And people aren't addressing that, which is why this situation continues to go on and on and on. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see if Washington gets to spread the pain in their mighty might, or if the river states actually come up with a solution. So stay tuned, people.